Welcome to Dark Character Profiler. Take a deep dive into the background and personalities of villains from books, video games, manga, and comics. Psychological analysis of some of the most deviant and heinous characters of all time. Now, here's Fulcrum.
Welcome back, Dark Disciples, to the hallowed and veiled rites of Dark Character Profiler. The black candles flicker unsteadily, the sigils pulse with unholy life, and the echoes of the abyss answer our call. Step beyond the threshold, surrender the light, and join us as we summon forth the chronicles of a spirit consumed by darkness. The invocation begins.
Dark Character Profiler.
Sometimes the most disturbing truths come not from what someone did, but from what they believe about themselves. Listen carefully to a quote in Hannibal Lecter's own words. "Nothing happened to me, Officer Starling. I happened. You can't reduce me to a set of influences." There's a stillness in the air when someone like him speaks. Calm, deliberate, and cold. Not because he's hiding something, but because he has nothing left to hide. He isn't like the others. He doesn't kill out of chaos or desperation. He kills with elegance, with purpose. And in that precision lies something far more terrifying. This is not a descent into madness. It's a portrait of control, of intellect, sharpened into a scalpel, and of a man who looks into the human soul and dines on it. Our subject's name for today is Dr. Hannibal Lecter from Red Dragon, 1981, The Silence of the Lambs, 1988, Hannibal, 1999, and Hannibal Rising, 2006. All novels by Thomas Harris, as well as corresponding movies for each book where Anthony Hopkins portrays him. He is also a character in the movie Manhunter from 1986, where Brian Cox portrayed him. Both Red Dragon and Manhunter have very similar plots. There is also a TV series, Hannibal, where Dr. Lecter is portrayed by Mads Mikkelsen. Dr. Lecter is 62 years old at intake. His evaluator is Fulcrum. The date of the evaluation is May 27th, 2025, and the referral source is court-ordered forensic psychological assessment. The presenting problem is Dr. Lecter was referred for psychological evaluation after being arrested for multiple homicides and acts of cannibalism. The evaluation was requested to determine competency and assess mental health status. Dr. Lecter was born in Lithuania to an aristocratic family. He experienced extreme trauma during World War II, having witnessed the violent deaths of his parents and his sister's murder and cannibalization by starving war deserters. During his captivity with these war deserters, Lecter realized that he was fed parts of his sister. He eventually immigrated to the United States and was later naturalized. Once in the U.S., he earned a medical degree in psychiatry and utilized psychoanalysis techniques. He built his career as a renowned psychiatrist, lecturer, and art connoisseur. He does not have any known substance use history or prior psychiatric hospitalization. Dr. Lecter appeared well-groomed, articulate, and composed. He maintained eye contact and presented as cooperative, though somewhat condescending. He presented as calm and calculated. There were no present signs of agitation or impulsivity during the interview. He displays superficial charm. His mood is presented as euthmic. His affect was restricted but congruent. He displays emotional detachment when discussing violent acts. His thoughts appeared organized and linear. There is no evidence of formal thought disorder. His thought content exhibited grandiose and narcissistic ideation. He displayed a deep sense of superiority and contempt toward others, particularly authority figures. His perception, no hallucinations or perceptual disturbances reported. His cognition is above average intelligence. His insight into his condition is selective, with his judgment appearing impaired in the context of his criminal behavior. He was fully oriented to time, place, person, and situation. Dr. Lecter's behavioral profile is thus. He displays instrumental violence, planned, symbolic, and purposeful. He is emotionally detached, viewing his victims through an aesthetic or moral lens. His behavior is organized, ritualistic, and refined. He fits the profile of an organized, lust-oriented offender. An organized killer is highly intelligent and methodical, socially competent, controls the scene, and is mobile and calculated. Lust-oriented killers derive psychological pleasure from dominance and ritual, control, and sadistic overtones. Dr. Lecter doesn't kill out of sexual gratification. His motives blend between aestheticism, superiority, and moral judgment. He is a hybrid between the classic lust killer and the psychopathic sadist. He can also be compared to the likes of Dr. Marcel Petiot and Edmund Ed Kemper. Dr. Petiot was a French physician who killed at least 27 people during World War II under the guise of providing escape routes from Nazi-occupied France. He used his status as a doctor to lure his victims, much like Lecter. He also dismembered his victims with surgical precision, hiding remains in lime pits and furnaces. Dr. Petiot disposed of his victims' bodies in a similar manner to Dr. Lecter. He was also motivated by power and sadism, much like Dr. Lecter. Ed Kemper was an American serial killer with a genius-level IQ, estimated to be 145. He murdered 10 individuals, including his grandparents and his mother. He would also engage in unspeakable acts with his victims post-mortem. Ed is known for his calm demeanor, self-reflection, and cooperation with psychological evaluations. Like Dr. Lecter, Ed was eloquent and psychologically insightful, and once assisted the FBI in developing early serial killer profiling. Like Lecter, he maintained a chilling and articulate public persona. He would self-analyze and could deceive professionals, which echoes Dr. Lecter's clinical charm and emotional detachment. Before we go further into the abyss, we offer our gratitude once again to Rich Frazier for suggesting the topic of this episode, Hannibal Lecter. Show him some support by listening to the Never Ending Radio Show. A link to the show is provided in the episode description. We also offer our gratitude to Cindy for suggesting a topic for our next episode, which will be Annie Wilkes from Misery. This episode will air on June 10th, so stay tuned. To all who listen, your ears are the altar, your attention the offering, and for that we are eternally grateful. Your devotion feeds the darkness. Now, let us continue the rite. Gather close, dark disciples, the shadows have spoken. From the depths of the void, the results of our recent poll have been revealed. Tied for the top spot were narcissistic personality disorder and PTSD, each receiving the most votes. This tells us that you all are seeing both the deeply rooted trauma from his childhood and the grandiose, entitled view he carries of himself. Coming in second place was antisocial personality disorder, which was a strong contender backed by his disregard for human life, manipulative charm, and criminal behavior. There's really no surprises there. Interestingly, other received no votes, which might mean that Lecter is too calculated to fit into anything outside of the standard diagnostic framework, or perhaps he exhibits all of them in layers. Either way, the split speaks volumes. Dr. Lecter remains a psychological paradox, a man shaped by tragedy, guided by intellect, and ruled by an internal code that defies diagnoses. By your sacred sigils cast in votes, the veil has been parted. Your will has summoned the course of our descent into the hidden chambers of the human psyche. We offer our thanks for your participation in the circle. Now we invoke the evidence and prepare for the final analysis.
Dark character profile.
The evidence against Dr. Lecter includes multiple counts of first-degree murder. His victims include colleagues, patients, law enforcement personnel, and perceived rude or uncivilized individuals. The evidence supports that many of the killings were premeditated, ritualistic, and committed with surgical precision. His modus operandi is his victims were often mutilated post-mortem. In several cases, organs, notably the liver, thymus, and brain, were removed and later confirmed to have been cooked and consumed by Dr. Lecter. He maintained extensive anatomical knowledge and used it to avoid detection for years. The duration of his criminal activity includes Dr. Lecter having been active for over a decade before capture. His offenses occurred across multiple states and countries, complicating the investigative trail. His arrest and detention came as Dr. Lecter was apprehended following a forensic breakthrough linked to bite marks and preserved tissue evidence. During his incarceration, Dr. Lecter demonstrated manipulative behaviors, including psychological influence over prison staff and other inmates.
And now, the final analysis. But first, just a little house cleaning.
This podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only. While we use the DSM-5 as a framework to provide psychological analyses of fictional characters, the discussions are not intended to diagnose, treat, or provide professional mental health advice. The interpretations shared are based on hypothetical scenarios and creative exploration and should not be applied to actual individuals or situations. For mental health concerns or diagnoses, please consult a licensed professional. Listener discretion is advised.
Dark character profile.
Our diagnostic impressions for Dr. Hannibal Lecter include antisocial personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, and PTSD. With antisocial personality disorder, the core traits are a pervasive pattern of disregard for and violation of the rights of others, failure to conform to social norms, deceitfulness, impulsivity, irritability and aggressiveness, irresponsibility, and lack of remorse. Dr. Lecter meets the criteria for disregard for the rights of others, lack of remorse, and deceitfulness as explained in the previous evidence section. For narcissistic personality disorder, the core traits are a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, need for admiration, lack of empathy, belief in being quote-unquote special, sense of entitlement, envious of others or believes they should be envied, and arrogant and haughty behavior or attitudes. Dr. Lecter presents with evident grandiosity, a need for admiration, a lack of empathy, belief that he is special and should be envied, and uses interpersonal exploitation. For PTSD, Dr. Lecter's history of early childhood trauma suggests possible PTSD etiology. He lost both his parents. Deserter soldiers invaded his home, they killed his little sister, and they cannibalized her. It is also possible he was forced to take part in her cannibalization, though it is heavily implied. For our risk assessment, Dr. Lecter presents with a high risk of recidivism, which is the likelihood that he would commit his crimes again if released, as well as manipulation. He remains dangerous even in incarceration due to psychological influence over others, and he is not considered a candidate for effective psychotherapy. Our recommendations include detainment in a maximum security forensic psychiatric facility, regular psychological monitoring for signs of escalating aggression. Treatment goals should focus on behavioral management. Psychotherapeutic intervention is unlikely to be effective given the ingrained personality pathology. And a final note for listeners, Dr. Lecter is a fictional composite, but his traits echo real-life predators. He challenges us to consider the thin line between brilliance and brutality, civility and savagery. As always, darkness hides behind masks, and Dr. Lecter wears his impeccably. The circle closes, dark disciples, and the echoes of the abyss fall silent once more. The tale has been woven, the soul laid bare, and the veil drawn tighter around us. Take these dark truths with you, guard them well, and await the next summons. Until the black hour returns, walk in the shadow unseen, and whisper not what you have seen.
Thank you for listening to Dark Character Profiler with Fulcrum. Listen every other Tuesday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts. Humanity was not meant to live this way. Society is left to the mercy of murderers and cutthroats. Hear Paige Zaplin Dam's epic tale brought to life in an audiobook.
For years, Slade had felt secure in the forest.
I am from simple, humble beginnings. I was raised in the ironwood by an ogress, an anaral.
He saw immediately that she was beyond a healer's aid. Even a skilled witch could not help her recover from losing so much blood. Mother?
Slade thought he wanted revenge. Instead, he got redemption. A kingdom of ash and steam. The Ogress's Son. A dystopian neo-dark age fantasy. Narrated by Rich Fraser. Now available on iTunes and Audible.
I promise you I will find whoever did this and avenge you, Mother.